Buck Showalter is the new manager of the New York Mets. It is official. It's breaking, if you will. Within the last 45 minutes, the word is out that Buck has been hired to be the next manager of the New York Mets. Mets fans, are you excited about this? If you are, comment below and let me know, and smash that like if you're happy, if you feel like you got your guy, the guy that is going to lead you to the playoffs and a World Series run and championship. If you're excited, comment below. Looking at Twitter, it looks like it's all generally positive. Twitter can be a very toxic place, but this news seems to be met with high regard, excitement, and that is what you certainly want. If you are in the Mets front office, you want to rally the fan base, and I think this move does that. Buck Showalter to the New York Mets. Again, smash that like if you're excited about it. Subscribe if you're new and just finding the channel. Baseball is your thing. This is a good place for you, so make sure you come back. Let's talk about this. We're going to talk about Buck. We're going to dive into his career. We're going to talk about what this means for the Mets in the short term, what it could mean in the long term. We're going to take a look at all the different angles of this thing and try to break it down for you guys to give you a full understanding, a full, well-rounded approach on this whole thing. So, the word is out. It is official. Steve Cohen with the tweet. I'm pleased to announce Buck Showalter as the new manager of the New York Mets. Doesn't get any more official than Buck. And John Heyman putting out there, it is a 3-year deal to be with the Mets, which was a home run. I mean, if you've been watching the channel, I think that's kind of about what we expected would be about a 3-year situation. Now, whether it is just a 3-year contract and then he renews, if it is a 3-year deal and then he's done, we're going to have to wait and see, right? Obviously, you'll know relatively soon because, if he's going to hang around, we'll know after 2 years, right? You don't want him, if you're going to have him hang around, managing in the last year of his contract. So we'll find out relatively early, right? After the second season, if he's going to hang around or not. Because if he is going to be just a 3-year and done manager, then they won't renew the contract. He won't be back. So we're going to dive into Buck. Let's do that. I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's get into Buck in general. 20 seasons as a manager. He is 65 years old. Of all of the candidates, he is the elder of the others. The other guys were in their 40s. 1,551 wins as a manager. That is 1,551 more wins than the other two, Espada and Quattro. He's taken a lot of L's, okay, but you know what? That kind of comes with the territory. He's managed the Yankees, the Diamondbacks, the Rangers, and the Orioles. Most recently, the Orioles, and turned them around, made them a playoff contender. 3-time division winner, 9-14 in the playoffs. Last coached in the MLB in 2018. Again, 9-14. Maybe that doesn't get you too excited, but that is 23 playoff games. That is 9 wins in the playoffs. That is more than Rojas had. That is more than the guy before him had, and I think the guy before him and the other guys they were interviewing. So Buck is the sure thing, right? This is the guy that you know. The other guys out there you don't know. They haven't been a manager before. They haven't managed in New York. There's some upside to Buck being the manager. Let's take a look at his record real quick. I want to pull it up full screen. Broke in with the Yankees at the ripe young age of 36 and did okay with New York. All right, it wasn't the best run with New York, but he did okay. Arizona, 100-win season with Arizona. Went to Texas, didn't quite work out in Texas. His run in Baltimore was really good. Maybe that's the best stretch you could say for his career. Turn that clubhouse, turn that culture, turn that franchise around for a short period there. 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015, 2016, 500 or better with the Orioles. And that, now that we look at the Orioles now, that's quite an accomplishment. So you like what he brings. And I've talked about this before. What I really like about Buck, and you didn't get with the other managerial candidates, is that this manager knows how to manage big egos, big contract guys. The other two, Espada and Quattro, their problem, in my opinion, is, especially Quattro, he had the Rays and the Indians, or Guardians, as his background. So he was dealing with players that didn't have the big contracts, might not have the big ego. He was dealing with guys that were trying to get the big contract. And there's a totally different personality, a totally different mindset from that player if they're in the middle of proving themselves and they're doing whatever they can to get the big contract versus the guys who already have the big contracts or are on their way to the big contracts, okay? So there's a totally different mindset there. So I'm glad they went with Buck over Quatraro. I would have been okay with Espada because Espada has dealt with some pretty big egos there in Houston, and Espada has the experience from being in New York with the Yankees. So I'm okay. I would have been okay there. I like the age, but it's not proven. Yeah, he's younger. Yeah, you could go on a 10 or 20-year run with Espada, but if it doesn't work, you're in trouble. Now, Buck, you're not going to get a 10-year run most likely out of Buck. That would take him to 75, okay? I think we could all agree it's unlikely that Buck manages that long. But what you will get from Buck is you will get that immediate clubhouse presence to take control. Rojas had no control. All of the stuff that happened last year, the Lindor and the McNeil thing in the clubhouse with the rat or the possum, Taijuan Walker, on the mound in front of everybody, just totally disrespecting the manager. The thumbs down thing. We could go on and on with this. It was a constant mess. And some want to downplay it, but at the end of the day, the manager had no control. That's what you can say from it. If you want to have, if you don't want to give all that stuff too much weight, and you don't want to say it's a big deal, it starts to add up. Okay, it starts to add up, and it's really a poor reflection on the manager. And Rojas wasn't supposed to be there anyway, right? He was they wanted Beltran. They had to take that job away from Beltran with the cheating scandal, and then they go with Rojas. Rojas wasn't their first choice. I don't know why they gave Rojas a second year. It's just what they did. But now they make the move with Buck. Buck immediately gives them the presence that they need. That division is very competitive right now. Even the Marlins are making moves to try to take a step up. The Nats were just in the World Series. They look like they're going this way. But still, you never know what happens with that franchise if they can turn it on in a heartbeat. You know the Braves, the World Series champions, the Phillies are not there to sit tight. So the Mets had to make a move that right now impacts the course of the franchise to go and try to win this thing. And that's what they do with Buck. That's what Buck is. Buck is the surest thing. He's the smartest, safest bet to go out and try to win the division next year. There were question marks with Espada if he could go turn his experience into success as a manager. Buck has had success as a manager. He's gotten teams to the playoffs. He's got a 100-win season under his belt. So Buck is the way to go. And I think ultimately the Mets made the right choice for today. They made the right choice for the 2022 season, the 2023 season, the 2024 season. But they should be keeping their eye on some other managerial candidates because in 3, 4, 5 years, they're going to need maybe somebody else because I just don't see Buck managing that long. But that's not what we're looking for right now. You're looking for the quick turnaround. You're looking for this team to be able to compete, have a higher likelihood of competing next year. And Buck gives you that. I'm a fan of Buck. I think he will definitely bring a good culture to the clubhouse and get things on track. What do you think? Comment below. Are you happy with this move? Mets fans, are you happy with it? If you are not a Mets fan, all right, this is not a Mets dedicated channel, so I expect that we'll see a lot of non-Mets fans chiming in. What do you think of the situation, all right? There's the whole thing. People like to say the Mets are going to Met, right? I think they did the right thing here. At the end of the day, I think they did the right thing. I think Quatraro would have been a mistake. There was talk the other day about how it was divided and it was a lot closer than people think and that he interviewed really well. Stop it. Stop it. You cannot have a guy who has the experience with the smaller market clubs, the smaller market personalities and egos come into New York and try to succeed right away. It's just not going to happen. It is not going to happen. If you are a Quatraro fan, that might be a hard pill for you to swallow. But at the end of the day, have you ever worked at a job where somebody became a manager or got a promotion and was doing something for the very first time? They made some mistakes, right? Maybe they made a lot of mistakes. Maybe they made so mistakes they ended up getting fired in a year. The Mets cannot afford that right now. There are some franchises that can take that gamble. The Mets are not. So they make their choice. They make the Buck Showalter play here, and I think it is the way to go. Again, comment below. Mets fans, what do you think? And if you're not a Mets fan, did they make the right decision? I think they did. If you don't know me, I'm not a fan of any of the NL East teams, so I really don't have any kind of sway or pull. I'm just looking at it from an analytical baseball perspective. I'm an AL East guy, but I think the Mets made the right move here with Buck. I want to know what you guys think, though. Make sure to comment below and stay close to the channel. I want to make sure that you guys are here for all of the offseason content that I'm doing. Set the alerts, all that good stuff. We're live all the time. We got uploads all the time. So make sure to subscribe if baseball is your thing. Again, pumping out baseball content all the time, and stay close to the channel with the alerts. Hit that like if you haven't already. You made it to the end, so you might as well hit that like, subscribe to all that good stuff. Reward yourself for making it to the finish line. Again, I appreciate you spending some time with the channel, and if you're new, finding the channel for the first time, I'll leave some links to some of my other off-season content for you to check out here now. Thank you again. I truly appreciate it. Ballcat Nation, you are supreme. You run the show, guys. I appreciate it again. Thank you for spending time with the channel, and thank you for watching the video.